a lieutenant governor of Georgia, Burt Jones. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff with you, but you were at the ceremony yesterday when Donald Trump signed an order. As a former athlete, I bet you never thought that there would ever be a necessity for something like this that does something simple. It just says, hey, women's sports should only be played by women. What was the environment like in that room, and what was the importance of the act? And I believe you guys are trying to do something very similar in the state of Georgia.
Clay, it's good to be with you. I appreciate you having me on, and it's good to hear your voice. You and I ran into each other down at the Georgia-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa.
That's right.
The last time we saw each other.
That's right. With President Trump there, it was a heck of a scene. Your team didn't show up that well in the first half, by the way.
But, they struggled. They came back and had a chance, and then they lost it there at the end. But that's just how the game goes sometimes. But yes, I was at the White House yesterday for the executive order. It was a great venue, great atmosphere, good energy. But the icing on the cake is when the president sat down and had all those young little ladies and moms stand around him as he signed the executive order. And it's all about, and he said it yesterday, this is not about trying to marginalize one group or any pick on one group. This is about protecting women's sports. It's about protecting female athletes. And as a father of a female athlete, I don't hesitate to support this. I support the effort that the president did. I also supporting, we're right now in session right now. I've stepped off the floor of the Senate here in Georgia, because we're voting on this issue, issue that we've worked very hard on, and mirrors what the president did in the executive order. And we're going to put it in statute after we vote this out today. And like I said, I think it's good for women's sports. I think it's good for female athletes.
Lieutenant Governor, it's Buck. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you, sir. The opposition to this, I'm wondering what it is at your state. As you said, you're going to have something like a companion bill, essentially, right, to the executive order that President Trump has signed. Are Democrats kind of quiet in your state about this right now, or are they screaming from the rooftops about how awful it is? Just because we've seen a real retreat on some of these cultural issues that the left has been very vocal in the past.
Right. It's a mixed bag, Clay. It's coming out of committee, we had a couple of Democrats who voted for the measure with the Republicans. It's on the floor right now, and I would presume that those same Democrats will vote for the bill on the floor. But as far as their Democratic leadership, they are doubling down on the issue and almost acting like we're in the wrong for wanting to protect female athletes and female sports. And obviously, if they hadn't learned anything from the results of the November election and across the country, then I feel for them, because they seem to be doubling down on issues that the people just do not agree with as a whole. So we'll see how the vote goes. I was surprised that a couple of Democrats did break away from their party leadership and vote with us in committee, and we'll see how many of them vote with us on the floor.
Georgia has been the epicenter of the battleground states for several news cycles and election cycles now. Coming up in 26, y'all are going to have a non-incumbent governor, because Brian Kemp, who's done, I think, a really, really good job, is going to be out. You also are then going to have a Senate race. I believe John Ossoff is, and I may have mispronounced his name, but Democrat senator is going to be up. What can you learn from the outcome in Georgia in 2024, your own win in 2022 when Republicans did really well? What is going to happen in 26? What do you expect the landscape to look like?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think, we are a red state. We're not a purple state. What happened in 2020 with when we lost those 2 Senate seats, I think was an unfortunate error on our part, and there was a lot of things that played into that. But long story short, in 22 and 24, we've illustrated that we are a red-leaning state, And I think we're going to do nothing but continue. I think we're going to grow those numbers, quite frankly, Clay, because I think the president is, and what he's doing, number one, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. I think it's going to be good for the economy. I think it's going to be good for, the border situation obviously is going to be a lot better. And when, things are rocking and rolling, Georgia's always been a state in the last decade that has kind of outpaced everybody else. Even when we've had downturns in the economy, Georgia's economy has been very strong. And if the entire country's economy and everything environment gets to be strong, I think there's a very good chance we'll take back that U.S. Senate seat, and I know we'll retain the governor's seat in the Republican ranks as well.
We're speaking to Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. And Lieutenant Governor, there is a football game, Clay informs me, on Sunday that many people, yes, that many people will be watching. Would you care to offer up who you think is going to win and any predictions about the game so that I can then have something to say when people ask me the next few days?
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a lot of University of Georgia guys on the Philadelphia Eagles team, and there are a lot of good players, especially on that defense. And I think we've got like 6 guys starting on the defense. They're all University of Georgia graduates, and so I think I'm going to go. Even though I like Patrick Mahomes as a player, I'll be honest with you, but I think I'm going to go with the Eagles this Sunday just because of that Georgia connection, and they seem to be playing really, really good defense right now. And I'm still one of those old school guys, Clay and Buck, that I believe that defense still wins championships, and they. I think that's who my prediction is on Sunday is the Eagles.
How much are you looking forward, Lieutenant Governor? Pitchers and catchers reporting soon. I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. I can't wait for that.
Sure.
And what do you think of the overall environment right now? Doesn't it just feel? I assume you guys feel it in Georgia. Buck and I were just talking about it. I'm in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Buck's down in Miami. But all over the country, it just feels like there is a newfound enthusiasm and excitement. After everybody had so much weight on their shoulders, Lieutenant Governor, it feels like for like the last 5 years, it's just like, man, the air just smells better every morning.
There is no doubt about it. I mean, you can feel the energy. I know I feel it down here. I feel it in my business, my personal business. We have business contacts all over the state, and we do a multitude of things. And just the sheer fact that we know that there's a new sheriff in town, that there's a new administration that is going to be doing things that are in the best interest of its citizens, that putting America first. I was told somebody a quote last night. I was like, there's nothing bad about putting Americans first, in trade, in energy, and on the world stage. There's nothing that should be some sort of a word that you should be afraid of about putting the American issues first, and that's what Trump is doing. And you can feel it, the support, and you can feel the excitement about what the future holds for us as a country.
Georgia's Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, sir, thank you so much, and we'll see how your Eagles do on this Sunday. Appreciate you.
I'll just be at Eagles for that one Sunday right there. But I hope y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all having me on. I always enjoy listening to y'all show. So y'all take care.
Thank you so much. There's no one organization that is doing more to protect the lives of tiny unborn babies in this country every day than Preborn. In 20 years of existence, they have saved the lives of over 300,000 unborn children. On average, that means 200 babies each day are brought into this world and saved from the horror of abortion. Preborn's a nonprofit with clinics nationwide who are set up to meet pregnant mothers and give them love and support. And a big percentage of these women come in thinking they might have to choose a abortion for their unplanned pregnancy. But Preborn steps in and says, let's just start with this, an ultrasound. Because that free ultrasound for mom, along with all of the care, consideration, support, and love from the Preborn staff, so often is that deciding moment when mom realizes she's going to be a mom. And that's all that it takes. Please, they need your help. They get no funding from the government. They're not Planned Parenthood getting all kinds of money from the Hollywood elite and from the federal government and all the rest of it. 100% of any donation you can give to Preborn goes directly to the mission of saving babies' lives. To donate, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/buck, preborn.com/BUCK. Sponsored by Preborn.